Hi everyone, this is Daisy here, aka Professional High Priestess, and I'm here to do a quick story time and channeling for Divine Feminine. But before I do that, I want to actually just go ahead and just do some give out some clarity regarding the back and forth and whatnot that's been going on YouTube. Because I know for a lot of y'all, we're here to receive messages, we're here to ascend, we're here to understand the 5D and beyond, etc. Right? And I don't want and it's unfortunate that unfortunately I've had to keep on exposing, some of the trifling bullshit that's going on. Because me personally, like, you can't throw a stone at me and then hide your hand and expect me to not say anything, because that's abuse, right? So, a lot of people have commented and said, that it's standing my ground and setting boundaries is actually helping them to stand ground uh, with the karmics in their life that have been abusing them and things like that, right? It's just like that Nora Zeal Hurston quote. If you're silent about your pain, they will kill you and say that you enjoyed it, right? And the reason why I'm not showing my face in this is because I noticed that when I do channelings and readings, when I'm showing my face, I get drained. It's because they come into my lives and they do some weird energy harvesting thing. So let's just do this for now. But anyways, you guys know it is judgment season, and unfortunately, it's not going to be pretty when it's judgment season, right? And trust me, like, it hurts me just as much to have to expose bullshit that's going on, as just as much as it hurts to have to experience it, right? But I do want to let folks know that you don't know these people past what you see on social media. I want to remind you of that. That's why you got to be careful with the people that you do follow, right? And then also take things with a grain of salt as well. Do your research. That's why I try to teach you guys these things so you can go out and do it for other people and then you know how to do it for yourself. I also want to add, if multiple people say the same thing, then it's probably true. A lot of the readers that I've already exposed on my channel, multiple people have already exposed them. The quote unquote exposure videos being made about me, those people are being paid, and you're gonna see it because once we get the subpoenas out, I'm gonna put the financial transactions on my YouTube so you can see the truth, right? They're being paid to do that. I don't know any of them. See, this is what happens when you're a true divine feminine. You're constantly being under attack by dark forces. I also want to put a message out there for some of these readers who are now doing versus videos or exposure videos and this reader versus that reader videos. You know, it's not a good thing to try to use someone else's name to build up energy off for yourself. Because a lot of them are doing this so that they can build up their followers. That's what they're doing. And I saw one reader, she was talking about I've taught a couple of men how to give blowjobs. As a quote unquote divine feminine, what are you doing teaching men how to give oral sex? What were you doing? Who are you? Something else that I'm now hearing is that I'm transgender and I'm a man. I'm pretty sure I bleed once a month. Pretty sure that I have a vagina and a cervix. Matter of fact, when I went to go see my gynecologist, she told me that my cervix was pretty, and I, I took that to heart. But I want to remind you of, our ancestor, Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth, she was 6'3". Yeah, she was 6'3". And I always used to read her story when I was younger because people would always make fun of me because I was tall. And somehow being tall made me less of a woman. See that, right? Because the smaller that you are, the more womanly you are. Can you see like the kind of patriarchal mind fuck programming that a lot of people are still under, claiming divine feminine? And I used to read her story, Ain't I a Woman? And she would talk about how, she was abused even more and disrespected even more and bred like an animal because she was tall. And how her children were bred like animals because they inherited her height as well. So, when you guys are putting like garbage and trash out there because of my height and trying to, say that I'm not a woman or whatnot, remember that there were Amazonian warriors who can reproduce on their own, right? There are several women throughout history who were deemed as lesser than because they were taller. So I want you to think in your mind, because I know another thing too is like, because I'm beautiful and I look really good or whatnot. That's another reason why they say things like that. Because I remember when I was overweight, no one would ever say that. Oh, she's tall, so she must be a man. Think about that in your mind. Really think deep about that. Because someone's tall and pretty, automatically that makes them a man. So because they have something more than you, right? Or that you perceive them as better than you, automatically that makes them more of a man. So what are you telling yourself? That masculine energy is better than feminine energy, right? This is what you're subconsciously like breeding within your mind. Aren't supermodels tall though? Yeah. So, you guys got to be really careful about like the toxic mess that you put out out of jealousy. Because remember, words are spells, right? So when you're putting out spells on people, on their name, on their character to make yourself feel better about yourself, be careful because that always does come back. Another thing that I want to talk about is now you see more and more readers coming out about what's been going on, about the different gang stalking and the games that are played by some of these different readers, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of these readers, they've been able to, go so far because they have so many subscribers so they can bully people. I won't be bullied at all, period. And when the truth comes out on a large scale, you're going to know. As for some people, like, you're crazy, you're not reading your cards right, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me give you an example about the gang stalking that I had to go through. When I started, what I did was I had to make a site and I just started listing all their names. Didn't even contact them, nothing. I just started listing out all their names because I knew who they were, right? Internalized misogyny, exactly. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. I was listing out all their names and I was having a conversation with the lawyer for the defendants one day, and I was like, just so you know, like everyone that was listed on that website, they're now in a police report. That same exact day, four people who were listed on that website, four of them, contacted me and said, I would like to be removed from this site, sending me all this legal language, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And I was like, okay. So, if at one of the gang stalkers, I was like, okay, if you want to get off this site, then bring information. And he was like, okay, do you want it written or recorded? Mind you, I didn't put the website anywhere. So how did you know? How did they know then? If I hadn't put the website publicly, how did they know that first that they were on the site? And second, how did they know that it was getting put into a police report? Do you see what I'm saying? See, when it comes to my readings and my gifts, I'm very highly attuned. That's how this all started in the first place. 2 weeks after I exposed that human trafficking ring and the death ritual, they tried to kidnap me from my apartment. If it was a lie and nothing was happening, then why the kidnapping? That's on camera. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube so you guys can see it too. See, this is what you guys got to be careful with who you play with. Because not everyone is a false high priestess. It's in my bloodline, it's in my lineage. So those are just a few of the things that I had to put out there. And yeah, it is drama. Yeah, it is drama. Unfortunately, it is. Because people are creating it. And then they expect you to be quiet because they have a larger following or whatnot. Absolutely not. I'm too smart to be silenced. And then for those of you who are caping and coming on my channel and spewing garbage and mess, when the truth comes out, remember, you're getting hit with that tower too. And I'm gonna go back to the internalized misogyny. Think about this. Think about the fact that someone, well, she must be born a man then, since she looks better than me, talks better than me, does better than me. Think about that. Think about that in your mind. Think about, as a woman, how you attribute greatness to masculinity. People have always been trying to deem me as lesser than. I'm less feminine, and as Black women, we're already defeminized and masculated because of our skin color or whatnot. Think about the stereotypes and the slave consciousness that you're perpetuating when you're saying certain things. And a lot of this all is happening because these quote unquote divine feminines haven't done their work from internalized patriarchy. and haven't done their inner healing work. Because if you did, none of this would even be happening. Because divine feminines don't gang stalk. They don't do blood rituals. They don't do love spells. They don't lie. They don't cheat. They don't steal. And I also want to add, you guys know that we're always doing our mirror meditations, and and a lot of you guys have emailed me like after the mirror meditations, like this happened the next day, that happened the next day. I have several mirrors in my energy field around my home. So these different readings that are being done on me, where I'm the karmic or whatever, because I always come up as the Empress. You're reading your own energy because you've been blocked from my energy field for weeks beforehand. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I'm going to timestamp this just like message for my subscribers, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into the channeling for today. So that's all I really have to say about that. You know, that's why you just don't get involved in bullshit. Because then you have to keep on getting engaged in more bullshit and more bullshit and more bullshit just to cover up the first initial form of bullshit that you got involved in, right? How do you do the mirror magic? I think I'm going to just put it on my Patreon. We are the prototype. You know, a lot of human beings, we used to be super, super tall. Then they mixed us with Nephilim. That's how we got reduced. I'm proud to be 6'3". I'm proud to be dark skinned. I'm proud to be both my masculine and my feminine energy. So be careful with the mess that you're brewing up when you're trying to get subscribers, and the lies that you're telling when you're trying to hide what you're doing, because it's just adding up to a bigger pot of mess. I haven't had a tower moment yet. And for those of you, you know, who think that I'm just a hater and things like that, you know, please just excuse yourself from my channel, because we're here to go to the 5D and beyond. And for those of you who think I'm worshiping different entities, I only have one God. One God. But the thing is, I'm wise enough and learned enough to know that God has his manifestation in all of his celestial beings, being the planets and being the different gods that our ancestors were that are consecrated to those planets. I'm not stupid. I only got 4 ancestors on my altar, and I pray every day to the Most High. See, that's the difference between a divine feminine and a karmic. A real divine feminine is learned. She transcends time and space and learns about all different type of cultures and all the synchronicities between all of them. A divine feminine knows that her God is not a man. That's spiritual disenfranchisement. It's balanced in both man and woman, feminine and masculine. So let's get grounded and balanced in what's really going on here, because it's a lot of confusion and a lot of mess. And you know, some people say, I thought you were Leo, I thought you were a Virgo. I have a Leo and a Virgo stellium. Come on now. We can be both, right? I'm androgynous. Thank you so very much. I'm balancing my masculine and feminine energy. A lot of these females running around on YouTube, they're distorted feminines. Their scales are off balance. So let's get deeper into our healing work, right? Let's get deeper into our practice. For those who are speculating if it's true or if it's not true, the truth is going to be revealed. Just wait. It always is. And you have to know I'm not stupid enough just to put something out there and it's not true. It's always true. Exactly, Virginia. You know a difference between a karmic and a feminine because you once were one. So you see it. You know it. So I'm just going to leave it with that. Let's get into our story time for today. Divine Feminine. I was reading some stories and I came across a story and I feel like you're going to really understand your journey a little bit more especially if you're dealing with like a karmic partner, because there's a lot of confusion between, when you're on a journey and your DM is dealing with the karmic or whatnot, there's a lot of confusion between who's the real one and who's the karmic, because a lot of the times your masculine has never dealt with like a divine feminine or a divine being. So a karmic can say, I'm a karmic. And he's like, okay, oh, I'm a feminine, and he'll just run over there until he gets into the tower, then realize that's a karmic. Then you come along and he gets jealous or upset or wants to battle you or fight you because he knows that there's an energy in you that's impenetrable, that they can't break down or they can't take away from you. So they keep on getting involved with shapeshifters until they learn what's real and what's not. But I want to read you the story. And I'm going to bring again my anime, my manga, my Japanese folklore, because we have it in the Egyptian culture too, right? Like we talk about Sobek or Anubis Ma, etc. These different beings are literally archetypes that are telling a story. That's what they are, right? That's what these are. They're just trying to tell us a story in ways in which we understand. Because sometimes, language is a limitation for energy. That's why in certain cultures, there's no word for terror or horror or murder or even like abortion or things like that. There's no word for it. Because for the word to exist, right, then the energy exists. There you go. So let's get into this. Amanujaku are wicked monsters which have been known since before written history in Japan. They are described as evil kami or yokai who cause mischief and perform evil deeds. In particular, they are known for provoking humans into acting upon the wicked, impious desires buried deep within their hearts. They spread spiritual pollution wherever they go. Although they predate Buddhism in Japan, Amanujaku are frequently depicted in Buddhist imagery as symbols of wickedness being defeated by righteousness. In particular, the four heavenly kings are depicted as standing on top of demons, squashing them. Those squashed demons are said to be Amanujaku. Amanujaku originate in ancient mythology. Though their true origins are a mystery, they appear to have developed out of ancient myths of wicked Shinto deities. Amanozako, Amenosagume, and Amenowakikako all share aspects of this spirit's undermining nature. It is widely believed that Amanujaku originate from or one or even all of them. So remember this. Amanujaku are wicked shapeshifter beings and they spread spiritual pollution everywhere they go. Remember that as we keep on going. The story's almost over. The legend. The most well-known tale about Amanujaku is the story of Yuriko Hime. In this story, a childless elderly couple discovers a baby girl inside of a melon. They took her home and raised her as their own and named her Yuriko Hime. She grew into a beautiful young woman, and one day a request for her hand in marriage arrived. Delighted, her parents went off to town to purchase her dowry and prepare for her wedding. Before leaving, they warned her not to open the door for anybody, no matter what. Shortly afterwards, Yuriko Hime heard a knock at the door. Yuriko Hime, please let me in. She refused to open the door. The voice replied, if you won't open the door, then at least open the window a crack. Reluctantly, Yuriko Hime opened the window just a crack. As soon as she had done so, a long, clawed finger slipped into the crack and smashed the window open. It was an Amanujaku. The demon leaped at Yuriko Hime, tearing at her clothes. The young woman fought for her life, biting and kicking at the demon, but she was not strong enough. The Amanujaku snapped her neck and she died. The Amanujaku did not stop there, however. It flayed Yuriko Hime's skin and wore it like a suit, hiding itself in her clothes and disguising itself as the beautiful young woman. When the girl's parents came home, they were fooled into thinking their daughter was still alive. Finally, the wedding day arrived. The elderly couple brought the Amanujaku in disguise to its husband-to-be. However, a crow in a nearby tree called out, warning the couple that their daughter was not what she seemed. They grabbed the bride tight and held her down. They splashed water on her until the skin the flayed skin sloughed off, and the demon was revealed. The Amanujaku ran for its life, but the elderly couple chased after it. More and more people joined them until a whole host of villagers chased the demon throughout the village. Finally, the townspeople caught up with the demon and hit it with sticks and stones and tools. They beat the demon into a bloody mess until it died. Listen, Amanujaku came into the home and killed the beautiful young maiden, divine feminine. She took the skin of the divine feminine as her own shapeshifter. The parents, they didn't know, aka the divine masculine, right? Or the husband, the groom to be, didn't know that this wasn't the real wife. The crow, aka the sibyl, the crows represent and birds represent like a higher knowledge, higher wisdom, ancestor spirits. It was until the crow sang that that's a fake, that's a shapeshifter. Then they doused the demon with what? Water. Water is the truth element. And it was when they doused the demon with water that its true form, its karmic energy came out. I like this story because it gives you a perfect example of what happens with these karmic energies. They try to take on the divine feminine energy. They act like they're the divine feminine. They can act and act and act and act up until they get to the altar. Then when they get doused with water, which is truth, right? Think about Aquarius, the water bearer. Aquarius is associated with the crown chakra, right? Birds are also associated with the crown chakra, you see? It's when the truth comes out, when the crown is unactivated, unable to be activated because they're not the true divine feminine, that they show their true form. It's when they're hit with that water, because you know that demons can't stand holy water. Once you hit them with that truth, their true form comes out. The demon comes out. It was until the demon was hit with that water that it showed its true form, divine feminine. The water is sprinkling all over the place. It is pouring, it's raining and it's pouring holy water, truth. And these karmic energies cannot stand it because their true form, their mask has been taken off. They've been exposed. Their true form has been exposed. Now they're going to go and try to develop a different form with your DM. They tried to take on a new form, but it doesn't work because now your masculine is hip to the game, right? Eventually he gets hip to the game like, wait. I saw the red flags and that other female, you got the same red flags. I can't. I got to exit. Clever. Your DM, higher guides and ancestors, or the people around you, right, that are engaging with the karmic energies as well, thinking that they're the real Yuriko Hime. They're going to see the karmic's true form. And they will kill the demon so that it does not return. And while you're listening to this, you're like, that's never going to happen. They're going to just keep on believing the karmic. She's going to just keep on shape-shifting and taking different forms and taking on my energy. No. Because we can't control the rain. The Most High does that. Wait for the Most High to bring that cloud of truth, and it's going to rain. And when it rains, no one's going to be spared. In a perfect world, we could bring back Yuriko Hime, and she gets her suit back, she gets her skin back, and then she gets to be at the altar with her true groom to be, her true husband to be. Unfortunately, the story ended this way, but you develop your own ending. Now, let's get into this. A lot of you, you've dealt with shapeshifter karmics, and they're so crafty. Sometimes they've even gotten you to believe that you're the karmic. They get other people to believe, no, that she's the karmic. I'm the real divine feminine, because they've taken on your skin, because they've studied you. They've flayed you, right? But then the truth comes out. That water hits, and they can't stand the rain. I can't stand the rain. Because your DM's unconscious until that rain hits, until that bird crows in his ear, which is the spiritual activation. Then he sees what he's been dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and get into a reading for you all. I've been smudging all day, changing chapters. Thank you for saying that. The funny thing is, I bought like a whole box of Palo Santo, and I've already gone through 3 of them. But that's neither here nor there. Let's gonna get into this. I like to use this deck. It's the Nature versus Nurture Oracle deck by Marcella Krall. Alrighty. Whew. Let's go ahead and use the okay. We'll use the Kipper deck as well. All right. And this is not, I've never done a DM versus karmic reading because there's no need to. There's never a need to. But it seems to be some confusion. And this is confirmation for all of you too, who the real Yuriko Hime is. Jasmine, you got a message coming from me in a minute. Let me go ahead and smudge these cards as well. And I let you guys see my cards too, so that you know that I'm not like shifting the story or whatnot. Because I know a lot of that goes on too. All right, let's get into this. All right. I'm gonna be using the Melanated Tarot. Hi, Enchantress. Hi, Cosmic Pearls. Hi, everybody. So let's keep this going. Divine Feminine, you have to understand that a lot of these karmic individuals, they lack awareness of their shadow. And even if they do have any type of inkling of their shadow, they lack how powerful it is. And when you don't do your clearing work in the now, what ends up happening is you end up activating low vibrational past life and ancestral energies. And those type of energies, in terms of what they are and how they work, your south node will tell you, and the house in which that south node is in will tell you, right? So what ends up happening is you activate a lot of low vibrational past life energies as well, right? And then on top of that, if you're mixing and mingling with other people sexually, you're bringing that energy into your space as well. So now you're dealing with multiple problems, multiple shadows. So instead of them doing the work to kind of clear that up, it's easy for them to prostrate and flail your skin and wear it as their own, because it hurts them. It's impossible for them to address their own shadow. All right, dear bright and living ancestors, give us some messages, please, about shape-shifting karmic energies and the divine feminine. Divine beings and shape-shifting karmic energies. What do we need to know? Shape-shifting karmic energies and divine feminines. Shape-shifting energies and divine feminines, please. Shape-shifting energies and divine feminines, please. We have ancestor past. Look at the bottom of the deck. We have wild woman free. This is what I was saying. A lot of individuals, they act out of low vibrational, toxic ancestral energies that they have not cleared up. Then they pick up and accumulate more trauma in this lifetime because they're continuing the toxic ancestral cycle. So then when they're finally met with the mirror, or when they finally come across a real divine feminine, it's easier to emulate you and take your energy versus doing their work. Because looking into the mirror, literally for them, means death. It means death to all that they thought that they were. And they have to rebuild. Some people are not ready for that. Some people can't handle that death and rebirth process. Sometimes, divine feminine, you go through it every day, multiple times a day. Some people can't handle just one cycle of the phoenix. Then you got wild women free here, karmic energies. Too wild to do their work, but smart enough to shapeshift and try to emulate your energy. Dear bright and loving ancestors, what messages do you have regarding the shapeshifter energy? Karmic and shapeshifter energy. And then, a lot of the times too, this is not just a karmic partner. Friends, family members, look at, we got Scorpion, caution here. We got action, fire here. And I feel like I need to put this reading out because there's a lot of, Saturn's about to go direct, basically. And as we get closer to Saturn direct, I'll do a reading on that. But there seems to just be a lot of confusion because remember, when they're talking about the Tower of Babel, we will go down and confuse them all with different languages. A lot of people we're not all speaking the same language here. We all are not in that unified consciousness. We all don't know the truths or have the truths or have access to mystic rites of passage. That's why only certain people can get the keys to the kingdom, right? So only certain people have the keys to the streets. Some people, their ancestors have been completely blocked and barred from certain levels of information and wisdom because of the things that they've done karmically. So with the fire action here, now the divine has to step in and bring the tower and destroy all the different confusion. But there's a warning here for you, divine feminine, as well. Don't be Yoroko Hime in terms of opening that door to confusion and shapeshifters. And also a warning for shapeshifters too, that holy water is about to come and splash you. All right, so let's see here. Dear bright and loving ancestors, what messages do you have regarding this shapeshifter energy and divine beings? Your DM likes to deal with shapeshifters. He likes illusions. He likes confusion because living in this reality without any type of numbingness or without any type of thrill or something like that, it's unbearable. But divine feminine, we can sit around all day not engaging in this type of bullshit and still be okay. We don't need the thrills. We don't need the karmic Kool-Aid or the baby mama berry juice or whatever. Now it makes sense, exactly. Dear bright and loving ancestors, what messages do you have regarding shapeshifter energies? What is this here? Official person, divine feminine. Do I need to say any more than that? That's why they tried to take your form, whether that's stealing your business ideas, copying the way that you talk or dress or walk, or trying to downplay all those different things because you're the official person, right? You're the prototype and everyone else wants to be like you. And if they can't be like you, then let me just destroy her then. Because when you're a karmic, that's the type of thinking that they have. Because their minds are riddled with low vibrational shadow beings and entities. Jealousy is an entity. Why are you coveting what someone else has? Why are you coveting someone else's personality? Why aren't you happy with your own? It's projection, right? Dear bright and loving ancestors, messages regarding these shapeshifters, messages regarding shapeshifting, please. Pathway. Let's see here. Look at you at the toil and labor and the false person. They work hard. They work overtime, divine feminine, to try to be like you. Or if they can, or not trying to be like you because they figure they can't do that, or trying to destroy you. See, when you know who you are, it doesn't bother you. It can't. Because you know where these energies come from, divine feminine. You have to see it as past life karmic energies. Still seeking to infiltrate and take over the divine feminine's throne and her role. And it's impossible. Because just with a little bit of water, the Amanujaku was exposed. Just with a little bit of truth, the truth was revealed and exposed. Now let's clarify. Dear bright and living ancestors, you know what deck I want to use? I haven't used this deck with y'all in hella long. Let's go ahead and use this. Where is that deck at? Oh, here it goes. The Morgan Greer. And I like the Morgan Greer because of the imagery on it. All right. Alrighty. Okay. Dear bright and well-loving ancestors, let's get this energy here. Before I even do that, let me go ahead and clear this deck out because I haven't used it in a while. The last time I used this deck, we did the Malcolm X channeling. So Malcolm's energy is probably in there. Indeed. All right, y'all. Okay. So let's go. I love the melanated deck too, but I want to use a different deck this time. Dear bright and well-loving ancestors, give us more information regarding shapeshifter energies. What's clarify Scorpion, caution? Clarify Scorpion, caution. Ten of Cups in the reversed. Broken heart, shattered dreams. Three of Swords right here. I believe that what is happening for some of you all now is your DM may be waking up, or the people that are around your friends, your family members, coworkers, etc., who are giving you problems, making you seem like you were the karmic or whatever. Disillusionment here. Three of Swords, heartbreak. Something has ended. Something has changed here. And with the Scorpion caution card, that's because the veil has been lifted. The veil has been lifted, y'all. You know we don't do negativity on this channel. No bullshit here. Clarify wild woman free. Clarify wild woman free, please. With the Two of Wands here. Now a decision is being made. Now a pathway is being chosen. Because the demon has been exposed. The shape-shifting has been exposed. The different various forms, they can't take any other forms. They can't find another real divine feminine to flail or try to take her skin. Because there's only one, right? And divine feminine, like wine, you just get better with time. So you only advance and get better. And they can't keep up. This is what I'm hearing here. Toil and labor. Clarify ancestor, past. Clarify ancestor, past. Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Power. Abuse of power here. Clarify ancestor, past. With the Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, because you're a victor. In the past, divine feminine, these shapeshifter energies, you may have known them. You may have even engaged with them. What I'm seeing here is you're going to have victory, of course, over them in this lifetime. But there's something here about you being like a winner, or something like that, which drives them to the end, drives them to the edge. I'm also seeing here too that this shapeshifter energy is coming to the realization, or the person that you're dealing with, this, etc. Take it how it resonates. That their attempts to abuse their power over you, because the Six of Pentacles is abuse of power, is what made you a victor. So by trying to take your energy or stop your shine or whatever, they only amplified it, is what I'm seeing here. Now they're at the crossroads. Hermit, introspection. Because they're trying to figure out what path to take. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. Because someone just got left. Or someone's trying to figure out how to be this single self-sufficient person. If it's not you, divine feminine, if it's not this karmic individual, well, another thing that I am seeing here too is now they're thinking in their mind, how do I be that, like that divine feminine? Because, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is just like one step from the Empress, right? So it's like, how do I be that single self-sufficient person without shape-shifting into different forms or abusing power or things like that? How do I just obtain it naturally, you know? And eventually, that's always what it comes to. Always. It always comes back to that. Like, how can I get it on my own? Nine of Pentacles. I do feel like there's been a divorce as well with this Ten of Cups in reverse. So someone may be trying to come after you, Divine Feminine, with the Scorpion caution card. Clarify fire action. Isn't it the same story all the time? But it's like when an entity loses its feeding source, it clutches on tighter or attacks the mechanism or function that's trying to take away that feeding source, right? Clarify fire action. Three of Wands. Something is coming in. Someone's taking action. Let's see what this Three of Wands is about. What's this Three of Wands, please, for Divine Feminine? Shape-shifting energy. It's a secret sauce you can't have. You say you've been ready. You guys are so funny. Clarify the Three of Wands, please. What is this? With the Ace of Wands. Wow. Yeah. I feel like there is a look at with the World card and the Empress. So for some of you here, and I'm picking up on different energies because there's all different people going through all type of different things, right? This is wild, yo. This Three of Wands with the Ace of Wands reverse tells me that there's been a change of plans here. Or there was some type of cycle has ended, like with the World card and the Ace of Wands. It's like something was repetitive, like over and over and over again. But I feel like someone's put a final stop to this shape-shifting cycle. Now they want to come towards the Empress. And I want to remind y'all, when it comes to shape-shifting karmic energies, women lie, men lie, tarot don't lie. You can't do enough energy magic on yourself to become the Empress, because the Empress is an energy that's within, not without. So it didn't matter if the demon chose 100 different forms. That water, that truth was always going to end up hitting it, and the true form was going to come out eventually. There's only one Empress, Divine Feminine, here. Whether you want to engage with this person or not, there's only one Empress. There's not enough shape-shifting or magic or rituals or binding in the world that can change that. What's the Empress here? What's the Empress? With the Seven of Pentacles. Someone's in assessment and review. Someone's under judgment. If you want to know what energy that you're in, pull cards on yourself. Queen of Wands, you can be a fire sign, but you cannot pull on the Queen of Wands. You see what I'm saying? You can have no fire in your chart and still pull the Queen of Wands because it's an energy. Judgment. Someone's under judgment here. There's an end of a cycle. No more new beginnings. Stopping and starting. Stopping and starting. Could be dealing with the Aries energy here. It starts, okay, da 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 da, then it ends 2 days later. No more of that. Stopping and starting, stopping and starting. It's over. The shapeshifter has been exposed. What's this wild woman free? Two of Cups. And the Seven of Wands. Someone's been blocked. Someone's been blocked here. See, for some of you guys are like, don't be in competition with nobody but yourself. Really. Never be in competition with anybody but yourself, because you always end up feeling some type of way. Someone was in competition with you, Divine Feminine, to get this Two of Cups or get whatever they want, or Eight of Pentacles, a job or something like that. Or Six of Wands, public recognition, to be popular or whatever. And it didn't work. They only ended up in despair here and getting blocked out from what they wanted in the end. It's okay. You can always rewind and go back and watch the rest of it. But someone's under judgment here, and someone's in a review process right now with the action. Someone wants to take action towards you, Divine Feminine. I don't know who this is. Or it could be maybe like a friend from the past coming back to realize like, oh yeah, you were telling the truth the whole time. I see now what's in this friendship. Or it could be like an old partner, or it could even be a family member or something like that. This could also be too, like maybe like a business deal or something that didn't happen in the past. Now they realize that you're a good person to work with. Maybe a job that you didn't get, they'll be calling you back to say, hey, you got the job. We'll bring you on. Let's look into this. Clarify official person for Divine Feminine, please. Clarify official person. Hanged Man. Hanged Man. The realization is here. Or someone has seen some type of trickery or deception or truth in the dream state. Hanged Man. What caused this hangman realization energy? Two foxes and a wolf. Foxes also represent shape-shifting too, so just be mindful of that. What's the hangman? But then also too, y'all, I'ma just keep it hella real. Like, you never have to wait on anybody to see anything about you. You never have to wait on any type of validation from anybody outside of you. Ever. Like, you don't. People can say whatever about you, do all kinds of smear campaigns, etc., treat you badly or whatever. Like, you don't ever have to wait on anybody outside of you to validate that you're the official person. You don't have to wait for them to realize it either, you know? As long as you realize it, that's all that matters. Because your ancestors see it, and so do you. They obviously see it too. That's why they do what they do. Now that the witch hunt has ended, it's like asking a drunk homeless man for their opinion. Yeah, kind of like that. And you know, another thing too, to my feminine, you have to realize certain individuals, when they facilitate certain acts, they're automatically like barred from even having to say anything about you, period. But also too, you have to recognize as well, like Divine Feminine as a high priestess, or you know, a mystic, a sage, just Empress in general. Um, there are only a few people who are ordained to say anything about you. Only a few people. The Most High, your ascended master ancestors who you work with. Only a few people can tell you anything. And it's not to be like people can't tell me shit. No, because if you're doing fucked up stuff that's not right, then you got to get checked somehow, right? So that you can be back into that realignment. Four cups reverse. You can be realigned. But not everybody can tell you stuff about yourself. You got to remember that. You have to remember that. Not everyone can tell you stuff about yourself. When you're the official person, they have no clearance. They haven't been ordained to. They have no jurisdiction to do so. Yes, if you're being foul, you can be checked. A lot of the times, the ancestors will drop that judgment energy onto you, though. And this is not to say go around and do whatever, and act however way you want to. But just know that. What's the official person in the hangman? Eight of Pentacles here. Because you've put in the work. Hierophant, God ordained you. You're focused and you're dedicated. The Eight of Pentacles also means that. You're focused and you're dedicated. God gave you ordained you. not some other psychic or not some ritualist or not a group of people that don't really know the real you. God gave you that official person title. Clarify pathway. Also, your trials and tribulations and how you handle that too. That's another thing as well. Your tests. Clarify pathway with the Ace of Pentacles. New beginnings here for you after you've gone through the tower. Someone now has to make a decision here. Pathway, what choice or path they're going to take after dealing with the tower moment. But I also feel like too with the pathway here is after you kind of walk that path that you didn't probably want to walk in terms of separating from a situation or leaving something that was toxic or unfulfilling or whatnot. You get to have a new beginning. Clarify toil and labor. I'm feeling some energy in this room here. Y'all's got to stop letting people gaslight you, please. Clarify toil and labor, because a lot of people are straight up narcissists and they project. Clarify the toil and labor. What is this toil and labor? Page of Pentacles, new area of study, messages here. What's the Page of Pentacles and the toil and labor? Ten of Pentacles. Divine Feminine, because, you know, another thing that I'm seeing here is the inheritance too. Spiritual inheritance, ancestral gifts and knowledge and wisdom with the Ten of Pentacles, because that's also like DNA, like legacy, things like that. You put in the work, so you're going to get it. You're going to be going from the page to the 10 because you did your thing on your own. You weren't being codependent. You didn't have to rely on anybody else or anything like that. You were that single self-sufficient person. You weren't using things outside of yourself as like a crutch or to try to like numb your process or escape your process. You went through it. You went through the fire. Yeah. Divine Feminine. Another thing that I am seeing here too is with this toil and labor, Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. You this thing about the shapeshifter energy is like they can only go on for so long because they haven't studied. They don't have long-term stability, like in terms of the knowledge and the wisdom that they have, or financially. This can also be here too. The immaturity in terms of like their long-term goals and plans. And with the toil and labor here, you have a plan and goals for yourself, like long-term. Maybe you got something you got to learn in school. You're figuring out, okay, what am I going to do for the next 10 years? Dark Night of the Soul serious. You did the work because this is the thing. People can only lead you to the water. You gotta drink it on your own, right? So that's another thing too, you know. That's what the Six of Wands as well. Like you were the victor. You went through, you put the work in, toil and labor. You built yourself up over time to get from this page to the 10. And sometimes, like, it's good. It's like you can do battle by yourself. And also, too, it's good sometimes to have people near you to support you, too. Clarify false person. Clarify false person. It's like when you're in real spiritual warfare, your mind is like transfixed a certain way. Clarify false person. What's the false person here? Ten of Swords. The end. The end here. For some of you, you guys could have like your your quote unquote DM or like a love interest or somebody coming back to try to reconcile. That may you probably realize like you've probably ascended way past this person. Maybe they were the shapeshifter and you've ascended and you're like, okay, I see this clearly now. Like I don't this is not something that I want to engage in. Some of you make this could also be friends or something, like your palette could have changed here too. So you no longer want to engage with people who don't practice authenticity. What's this shapeshifter? What's this Ten of Pentacles? This Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords and the false person. There's a lot of doubles coming out here. Ten of Wands. Okay, you know another thing too that I'm seeing? There's a lot of doubles coming out here. I see 7 and 7, 10 and 10, aces and aces, sixes and sixes. When I see that, this lets me know 3 and 3. This lets me know that there's a fragmentation in consciousness as well. That's another thing with the shapeshifter energy. They can't embody their own energy because it's fragmented. The consciousness is fragmented. But as we go throughout life, it's always like a learning and unlearning process. We're always like learning, unlearning things, and then learning something new to replace that was not true, right? That's what they always say, that all truths are half truths, because the truth today can be a lie tomorrow. Like today you can say, oh well, I'm 20 something today. Tomorrow you get your birthday. Well, that was a lie because now something like that. Like a little thing like that. Today you can be like, I'm in love with this person. Tomorrow your energy can change because of whatever circumstance, right? That's what I'm seeing here too with this energy that's out here. There's a fragmentation in consciousness for people. They don't know what's real and what's fake because a lot of the society creates that though. Because remember, like, there's no rites of passage. A lot of the regulation that we had and like the structures that we had set up to pass down knowledge and information and titles and things like that, rites of passage, we don't have that. That's why, like, in the hood, the rites of passage is going to jail for a lot of people. Well, I hit a lick, I went to jail, I got my stripes, I'm a man now in the streets. And for the girls, it's like getting a boyfriend and having sex or whatever like that, or having a baby, It's like every culture is different. For some cultures, because I lived in the suburbs for like a year with a lot of European folks, and the rites of passage there is doing the keg, the beer keg, getting hella drunk, or blacking out. I know it's crazy as fuck. Or popping pills. Yeah, that's the rites of passage because it's been completely like skewed. And the thing about shapeshifter energies, if you find yourself like inconsistent in your walk and how you move, then you just start your integration process. And how's that integration process work? It's by doing the shadow work. Doing an inventory of all the different behaviors or lies that you kind of tell on a daily basis, and all the different type of behaviors and values that you want to embody, and then making a connection. How do I go from this to this? How do I go from this to this? How do I go from jealousy to high self-esteem? How do I go from lying to honesty? How do I go from codependency to interdependency? How do I change what my palate basically in terms of what I choose to ingest and what I feel is nourishment for my soul? How do I change that? Because I'm gonna just keep it hella real with you. When I was younger, you know what really used to nourish me? Watching the Mari show, watching World Star Hip Hop. You know what now what nourishes me? Watching documentaries, finding different like planetary tones online, making meditation videos. Your palate changes as you ascend and as you get access to knowledge, information, and wisdom that changes your mind. So even for the shapeshifters, you can get hit with that holy water, and maybe you can even turn into your own Yurokohime. You don't need to take anybody else's. That's another thing with this society, with the Six of Wands being here too. Some people, they feel powerless with the Six of Pentacles reverse. They feel powerless because they feel like that's power right there, being a celebrity or popular or having what they have. So then they covet. Where in all actuality, power is having mastery over yourself, being okay with yourself, not coveting anybody else's what they have or whatnot, or trying to be anybody else's whatever. Yes. Make sure the karmic is not merging their energy field with yours. Yes. Especially if they have a personality disorder, because that's what I was seeing out here. I'm like, all these when I do readings and I see these different doubles, I know I'm dealing with there's a personality disorder type of energy that's being channeled. The only time they ultimately know themselves is when they're being destructive and they have one purpose to destroy or steal, kill, destroy, or whatever. I will say this, sometimes too the karmic will do magic or shit like that to try to swap the akashic records over to you, and that's what creates hella mess, or move the soul contract over or some shit like that. And then you start to feel shaky in your walk. Am I the karmic? No, you're not the karmic. You need to rest and meditate, get your mind back on track, get it back together. And this is not just the karmic that your DM is caught up with. And I always have to put that point out there because, yes, I do twin readings and things like that. But my channel's not just about like, the karmic partner or things like that. Planet Earth is the place where souls come to be eaten. And if I know that this planet is unfortunately the place where souls come to be eaten, what do I need to look out for so that I can continue to at least experience some joy and happiness while I'm on this planet, while I'm continuing to shield myself from this type of bullshit? People can't literally, like, they can't really take it, but they can tamper with it if you allow them to too. Then they also embed, like, they use some type of spell work to put like subconscious programming into your mind to make you feel like you're manifesting some shit that's not there. False person, Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands. Karmic completion, though. What's this Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, false person? Knight of Swords. An ending has occurred. The truth has come out, though. Brutal truth, but it's the truth nonetheless. Brutal truth, but the truth nonetheless. When you go through a tower, because remember, after the tower is the star, right? That could be an opportunity for you to rebuild. If you, because we've all engaged in some type of karmic energy, especially when we didn't know better, or even when we did know better, we got into it when we got ourselves together, hopefully. Because the more you do right and you ascend and you heal yourself, the less you are more like the less likely you are to get into this type of split consciousness, right? That's kind of like the problem with society. It's like people want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to do both. You can't. You're either pregnant or you're not. You're either, so you can't be doing too much. It becomes paradoxical. Then the energy becomes like all weird and jumbled, like I'm seeing here, right? Then judgment comes. The line has been drawn in the sand. So you got to choose, from what I'm seeing in this reading with this false person energy here. Are you going to continue to get into this bullshit where you're constantly experiencing the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands? Or are you going to now pick a new path, acknowledge the towers that you've created for yourself, acknowledge where you still need to get yourself together, ancestor past? Because we all can do some change, make some changes here. All of us have some work that we need to do on self, right? Some more than others. But it's all about like your willingness to do so. Because once you jump in, like, you know what, ancestors, all right, you put me in the judgment energy. I'm feeling some type of way about this. I want to change. All right, then the answers are going to show you exactly what you need to do to change. High radical responsibility, right? So this is what I'm seeing here, but I am picking up this. Yeah, and mental illness is becoming stronger, especially with Saturn being in Aquarius, because a lot of people have not done that work, and that's why we constantly are doing our healing work, even if we're doing it together. We're all healing and moving up on our journey and getting better with each other. That's the point. Even Yeshua, he had disciples for a reason because he knew that he didn't have all the answers. But together they created a group amongst themselves where in which they can exchange with each other new and support and all that too. That's another part too from being the shapeshifter to a divine feminine. Because for them to try to take someone else's form, they feel like they have all the answers. I'll just take what that person has. That's not the answer. The answer is the inner work. And that shit is hella hard sometimes. And it's sometimes scary and uncomfortable as hell. Hella uncomfortable. Ooh. That's what I'm seeing here. And, I'm just going to keep it hella real. I've also had to learn how to forgive even these shape-shifting energies and false people. Because it's not really all them. It's also this. God only knows what they have in their Akashic records and in their bloodline, right? That they're the battles and the demons that they're fighting and stuff like that. And some people are like, I used to think, okay, well, they say forgiveness is divine. We still gonna talk about that, but shit. I mean, sometimes when you're in warfare, you gotta battle that demon and then be like, thank you. And then you bow. Right? You bow afterwards. That's tradition. You bow after you destroy the demon. So that's what I'm seeing here, out here. I feel like it's just like as time goes on, in general in society, karmic relationships, divine partners, whatever, there's going to be an added need to really do that self-reflection and introspection. It is what it is here. I'm going to get a message from the Ascended Masters and then I'm going to leave off. I am going to also, I am going to be going on hiatus for like a few days. Because I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing some stuff, getting some stuff ready. But this whole entire world a lot of this world is in balance too. So that's why it's like it's a constant thing, finding your balance, finding your footing. Dear bright and loving ancestors, messages for the collective regarding the shape-shifting energy. Now, messages for the divine feminine regarding the shapeshifter energy. Because that's, another thing that I am getting for some of these shapeshifters, that's all they know. Because they've learned that the only way to get what they want in life is to change forms and use lies as weaponry. Messages regarding the shape-shifting energy, please. I like that one, but I was like, oh. Wow. Look at this, Mary Magdalene. And weren't we just talking about Yeshua? And it says here, teacher awakened. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. And why you're like, why did I pick these cards? Because I don't know. I feel like the Ascended Masters always give us like a 5D and above, like understanding of the topics that we bring up. Lesson of the Shapeshifter, divine healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to charge and heal. Your light can support others. Because when you're battling Shapeshifter energy, it's tiring as well. It does get toxic. Because you're fighting energy. Look, I got my shorts pulled all the way up like Steve Urkel. Because you're battling energies that are like sometimes like beyond your understanding in the moment. Then when you go through that and you're like, oh, okay, now I see what this is. And then it's like you put a coin in your spiritual piggy bank because now when you deal with this next time, you understand what you're dealing with. The teacher awakens. So now you all can teach other people, like, okay, when you see your brothers or your sisters or your friends or whatnot going through the same thing, or like, let's say, for instance, you have your own channels or you do your own healing work with folks like that, and you are dealing with people and like, okay, that sounds like a shapeshifter. You can kind of coach them in terms of what they're dealing with so that they come out on the other end successful and they're not like hella draining their energy dealing with shapeshifting energies. Because dealing with shapeshifters is hard sometimes because they're so cunning. It's like they're cunning, baffling, and powerful in their fuckery. Imagine if they were to put that energy into like healing and stuff like that. They have to see it for themselves, yeah. So, let me see. My ancestor said that's it. Wow. So y'all, that's what I have for you all for today for our message, Divine Feminine and the Shapeshifter energies. I hope you all enjoyed. What I'm gonna do later on is I'm gonna be on Patreon and we'll be doing a mirror meditation tonight. So I hope you all can join us. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.